promised my constituents when I ran for office, I would do research, collect facts, so that I would make well-informed decisions. I've done a lot of research on House Resolutions 3630. Had phone conversations, as Charlie Whelan has said, with Kristen Koresh, who's the Deputy Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, with Jeff Fitzgerald, who joined us. He's the Director of the Colorado Unemployment Insurance Office, and of course Charlie Whelan from our Pikes Peak Workforce Center. And by the way, I commend all of them. I think they do a great job. Charlie, you do a great job on a limited budget with the tremendous task that is put before you. I've consulted with constituents, I've read their emails, I've listened to their phone messages, again, I've talked to them in the streets, and I just want to be clear. I realize that we accept a lot of federal funds for military purposes. I think under the Constitution we're allowed to do that. For roads and bridges, getting money back into the community that we put out. But I do want to start just by expanding upon what Charlie talked about this morning, just in the research that I've done, and just to lay out and to clarify all of the facts. House Resolution 3630 was passed in February of 2012. It extended the expiration of the Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program to January 2nd of 2013. It is a federally funded program to provide benefits to individuals who have exhausted their regular state unemployment insurance. So people are going to still get that, but it does not provide for additional benefits for those who've already exhausted their benefits under the previous law. This bill was passed with both Colorado senators and 5 of 7 Colorado representatives voting yes for this bill. 2 voted against it. Congressman Gardner and Lamborn were no votes. So the final vote on this was 293 yes, 132 voted no, and about 7 abstained or were not there. So employers in Colorado are going to continue. If you're an employer, a small business employer, you're going to continue to contribute to the state unemployment insurance fund. You will still continue to do that. And those monies that provide the first 26 weeks of unemployment payments will still go to the people who deserve unemployment. This does not impact those benefits in any way, shape, or form. So if you pay into the fund, the people who live in this community are still going to get that money back for unemployment for those 26 weeks. But once the maximum of 26 weeks of the Colorado benefits are exhausted, the unemployed individual still has the federal extended benefits for which they are then eligible. And these are, this was Tier 1 of the Emergency Unemployment Compensation Act, provides for another 20 weeks. Back in 2008, President Bush signed the Unemployment Extension Act, lengthening the period of government assistance to Americans struggling in the shrinking job market back then. The 2008 law provided for a maximum at that time of 46 weeks. So 26 weeks from the state, 20 weeks from the federal government. And then in 2009, Tier 2, I call it the extension, the emergency of the Emergency Compensation Act, gives yet another 14 weeks. And then back in February of 2012 of this year, we have now Tier 3. I call it the Emergency of the Emergency of the Emergency Compensation Act, which gives you then now another 13 weeks. Now we have gone from 99 weeks, and if you've been doing your math up to this point, an individual can receive up to 73 weeks of unemployment benefits. That's almost a year and a half for those of you that are challenged in doing your math and how many weeks are in a year. And before this act of 2012, it had no accountability built into it, okay? Everything was already done online with just an honor system. So what are the steps that were done on an honor system already? And they're going to continue to be done in this. Step 1 is they're going to, number 1, complete an emergency unemployment compensation orientation on connectingcolorado.com. Step 2, they're going to update their information and their skills in the connectingcolorado.com database. Number 3, step 3, they're still going to receive labor market information. Step 4, they're going to complete an assessment of their workforce skills. Now here's the new step that's being required under House Resolution 3630 that will allegedly build in accountability and the need for the new temporary employees at our workforce center. And here's the 5th step that's been added. Attend a one-on-one meeting with the workforce development specialist. And this is supposed to have the impact of requiring the individual to outline a job search plan. Now, mind you, this is at week 65, okay, going in of the emergency, that we're now going to require them to do a job search plan. We're going to have them show their work search history logs to the staff and to then verify that the applicants have been diligent in their job search up to this point. Now, this is going into at least over a year of unemployment. And please don't get me wrong. I realize there are people out there in this grave economy that are out of work and do get the assistance from the state and should from the federal government for a period of time with great accountability built into it.